Hello everyone, welcome to the tarot reading for today. Remember that starting this month I will be doing tarot readings focused on themes on clearing, healing, and transformation within ourselves. These are tarot readings that never lose relevance because they carry within themselves an embedded frequency, and it is a frequency space that is always active, one that becomes activated for you each time you listen to the reading. It does not depend on the day, it does not depend on the date or the month. It always remains available to work on the theme that emerges with the cards. Today we are going to focus the reading on manifestation and abundance. Let's start shuffling. So we will start with the Quantum Oracle to see what theme or challenge is related to the manifestation of abundance at this moment for those who arrive at this video, regardless of the date. The theme that appears is the one necessary, the one relevant to work on within ourselves, in our energy field, in our personal story, in relation to the manifestation of abundance. 3 oracles came out. One of them is repeating from a previous reading 2 weeks ago, Great Achievement in reverse. Also, we got the Vast Universe in reverse and Professional Assistance in reverse. So these will be the themes, and since they came out in reverse, they are the blockages that will be transmuted through frequency work in this reading. Now, let's shuffle the tarot to reveal a deeper layer related to those oracles. For this Great Achievement in reverse, we got the High Priestess, a major arcana, and the Six of Wands, a minor arcana, both upright. For this Vast Universe in reverse, we got the Hangman upright, a major arcana. For this Personal Assistance in reverse, we got the Death card, a major arcana in reverse. At the bottom of the deck after shuffling, the overall energy is the Moon, a major arcana, upright, and behind it is the Princess of Cups, a minor arcana, upright. So the fact that we had a majority of major arcana in this spread is telling me, first of all, that regardless of when you arrive at this reading, we are in an important period of our life, where things, events, and experiences are stuck, stalled, or in a hold. But that waiting period is a necessary one, because it is as if we are inside a cocoon, growing before coming out into the world, like a baby in the womb. So let's begin with the overall energy, which is the Moon and the Princess of Cups, both upright. The Moon as a major arcana is telling me that in this waiting period we are in, we are precisely going through an inner portal, as you can see here in the image. And this passage through the portal is telling me that there may be the sensation that things are not moving right now, that we do not know what to do, we do not know where to go, we do not know how to act, what decisions to make, or where we are. And when I speak of passages and portals, I'm speaking of the fact that energetically we are going through a journey, an inner path that is necessary to cross. And beyond that portal, beyond that passage, there's another level of experience we are heading toward. So, in relation to the manifestation of abundance and prosperity, since we are in this process of waiting and inner transformation, it is beneficial that things are not moving right now, because not all movement is productive if we are not ready to sustain it energetically. For example, when people launch projects, start their own business, but they are not ready yet energetically, what begins to happen is that the experience starts to dissolve, whether in misunderstandings, conflicts, things happening chaotically, or the experience begins to dissolve in the sense that what we want to achieve, what we want to produce, the clients we want to attract, nothing is happening. Because our energy is not yet ready for the great harvest, because we are going through the passage of the Moon as a purifying passage. And what is being purified are our limiting belief, our limiting patterns that keep us in fear, in contraction, in self-doubt, and lack of inner confidence. All of this is being transmuted right now. All of this is also being transmuted through the frequency sustained by this reading. And you will have that transmutation by embracing, so to speak, your own frequency during this passage. Meaning not falling into impatience, self-doubt, lack of confidence, or fear, but simply knowing that it is a passage like all passages. It will eventually be left behind. Also, the card behind the Moon is the Princess of Cups upright, giving me a deeper interpretation of the Moon, and it is that this passage will lead us to a new beginning. That new beginning is a new stage. And this new stage is connected to a very deep dream, one very close to our heart chakra. Something we emotionally desire that will emotionally fulfill us and would allow our heart chakra to expand. We connect with abundance energetically through the expanded heart chakra. So if we are going through a challenge with fear, uncertainty, those feelings close our heart chakra and obstructs the frequency of abundance from reaching us. Therefore, this Princess of Cups is telling us that the harvest will come, but in the long term, because we are only just beginning this stage. We are in a place of apprenticeship, where we are only starting to learn what to do, where we are only opening ourselves to understand what challenge we are committing to, what challenge we are aligning with in the medium or long term. So give yourself time to go through all this clearing of the difficult patterns that are activated whenever we face a challenge. And realize that at the end of the transmutation, there is this Princess of Cups with her hopeful message. And try to go through the opening of your emotional center, your heart chakra, so that you may receive the frequency of abundance. What does this mean in mundane terms? Is that when you feel fear, frustration, lack of confidence, inner doubt, contraction, do not vibrate in rejection of those low frequencies, because when we reject a feeling, we strengthen the distortion and we feed and amplify the lower vibrations we reject. What we must do is to vibrate in neutrality and release. For example, an inner doubt arises. We say to ourselves, "No, I will not be able to do it." And as soon as that thought or emotion arrives, receive it as if your emotional or mental body is saying to you, "Look, we are going through the transmutation of a limiting belief." So, you give yourself the moment to pause when that thought or that emotion arrives. You breathe for about 10 seconds and embrace that limiting belief with unconditional love. And you say something like, "I see you. I am grateful that you are showing yourself at this moment. And I am willing to release you, to let you go, to transmute you." And you give yourself that conscious time for that belief, that thought, that difficult emotion to pass through you, as if you were a channel, as if you were the course of a river, and you let that water of this emotion, represented by these cups, flow through you and leave you. You do not vibrate in rejection, you do not vibrate in resistance, you do not vibrate in judgment. You simply observe the limiting belief and let it pass through you, and in this way, you transmute it efficiently and more quickly. So let's continue to the oracles one by one, and then with their tarot cards each. Beginning with this great achievement in reverse, which is precisely the card that is repeating itself from the previous reading 2 weeks ago, this oracle in reverse indicates some kind of difficulty around a personal or professional pursuit in your career. Perhaps there's a delay in achieving what you want, or the result you're seeking is not available at this moment. This is causing you frustration, and you may feel that all the effort you're putting into this specific project seems to be going nowhere. This oracle recommends that you give yourself a break, take a breath, and try to explore a new perspective to the result you desire and to the process you're taking to reach it. That you need to reevaluate the path you're on, and that you even consider making new plans or trying new strategies or techniques. And if necessary, that you also consider choosing a completely new direction so that you can set changes in motion. But realize that it is not necessary to feel overwhelmed by the process you're in, because you're in a process of releasing all energy and opening yourself to a new experience of greater benefit and reward for you. And do not let the feeling of disappointment convince you that you're not walking a path aligned with your expansion, because this goes hand in hand with the process of transition, of living a 9-year cycle from the past year and opening to a new 9-year cycle this year. So the rush to bring yourself experiences that feel like a harvest is precisely what prevents you from realizing that you are in a process of releasing and letting go, of shedding layer upon layer of energy that is no longer necessary to carry. And simply by being in that process of leaving things behind, it means that this great achievement, this great harvest, will not be happening at this precise moment. But that does not mean you're not aligned with that great achievement or with that great harvest. It simply means you are in the process of walking towards it. And the deeper layer for this oracle with the tarot is the High Priestess, a major arcana, and the Six of Wands, a minor arcana. Both are right. The High Priestess is telling us that to go through this process of releasing old energy and redirecting our path toward a new focus, we will do it guided by our inner High Priestess, meaning our intuition, our dreams, the synchronicities we encounter day by day will guide us. But as intuitions, dreams, and psychic energy are subtle energies, in order to be able to hear them, it is necessary to quiet the noise of the mind's judgment. So when the mind tries to lower your vibration by saying, "See, all this effort is useless," when the mind judges the experience, takes you farther away from the connection with your psychic part, with your High Priestess. So both of these cards are saying that the path toward that great achievement is being created from your deepest energy, and it is simply about learning how to listen to it. And since it came along with the Six of Wands upright, this is saying that success and harvest are indeed assured, and that you can share this harvest with others. It is simply about to give yourself the time to let the old energy, the old paradigms, be cleared from your energy field so that when you're ready to begin acting, to begin making decisions, to begin redirecting your path toward that great achievement, your intuition will lead you. And yes, it is foretold, because the Six of Wands is the card of success. Now, let's continue with the next oracle that came out, the Vast Universe in Reverse. This is a card of spirit. The previous one was a card of events, so this means that anything external, like an event, is tied to how your spiritual part is expressed. When this oracle comes reversed, it is because we are feeling isolated, and we are giving into the sensation that we are not capable of resolving things on our own, that we are constantly seeking connections, solutions, but things do not move. They do not resolve or not get fixed. It is important to note, however, that you are never disconnected from the divine consciousness, and you are never disconnected from the universal energy that sustains you. It is about releasing from your energy field any fear, just as the moon at the beginning indicated, because fear is what is placing these walls around you, what is trying to convince you that you do not have a spiritual connection at this moment, or that you're somehow adrift. And it is that fear which does not allow you to see the alliance and the blessings around you that are indeed there. It is not necessary to fall into judgment and guilt over any situation from your past that is causing you suffering right now, because that only generates more separation and more fear within you. What is necessary is that you set a conscious intention to connect and to redefine yourself in relation to your divine legacy, to your spiritual legacy, because it is there, in that divine legacy, where your true power, your true value, and your true sense of worthiness reside, so that you may leave behind the limiting beliefs and the burdens of daily life. You can open yourself to a vision of your deep spiritual life, which lies in the understanding that your spirit is eternal, that your spirit is always connected to the universal light, and that the solutions you seek will be illuminated by the divine light flowing into your emotional center. So this is wonderful, because here you are being told that you are indeed being sustained, even if you do not perceive it as an experience. And what prevents you from perceiving it is perhaps believing your mind when it judges when the harvest should arrive, how the harvest should arrive, how a certain experience should be. If you allow yourself to be carried by the gentleness of the divine light telling you, wait, we are releasing all energy, we are transforming, there is no rush, you're being sustained. If you allow yourself to be carried by that energy with total trust, you transmute more quickly the fear and the feeling of disconnection. And look how beautiful this card of the vast universe is, that you can see here a spiral like a light that connects different galaxies, and all of this then connects with the planet Earth. It is almost the same symbol we see here with this tarot card that came out to reveal a deeper layer of this oracle, the Hangman, upright. This Hangman is as if we were in an energetic womb, as you can see here, sustained by a spiral of light, almost identical to the light that we saw in the previous oracle. So the Hangman is saying, you are in a process of inner transformation. That process is holding you in this energy womb, and because he is hanging upside down, he can see the world with a new vision, and that new vision requires a 180-degree change. So what the energy is telling us is that the connection with universal abundance happens through absolute trust that you are being sustained by divine light. This womb is so that you accumulate new energy, so that this new energy becomes like a bank account of energy, so to speak, that will nourish the new challenges you're aligning with. And at the same time that you're accumulating new energy, you're releasing old energy, burdens, trauma, karma, so as not to carry that old weight into the new stage. And this 180-degree vision of the Hangman is precisely that you realize that the manifestation of abundance is not through doing, forcing, pushing here, pushing there, judging, saying, I am in lack. It is about surrendering to universal trust, just like this figure here, who is in tranquility during this process of stillness, in which things may seem not to move, but they are indeed moving energetically in a deeper layer. So let's move on to the next oracle, which is professional assistance, and it also came out in reverse. This is an oracle of people. When this oracle comes reversed, it reveals a complex situation around you in which you need external help. Perhaps you have noticed it and ignored the problem, or postponed its resolution. Perhaps you feel alone, facing a stress that overwhelms you. But it is necessary to realize that you do not have to fix everything by yourself, alone, that you can open yourself to universal connection, and that universal connection will provide the necessary help to bring toward you the right people who can offer professional help, who can provide assistance, who can give you advice and offer options to find clarity. This may even be saying that it is time to seek help in the form of psychological counseling, energetic counseling, emotional counseling, so that through that external help you can see with new eyes the moment you are in, as the Hangman is saying here, with a 180-degree shift. This includes also to seek help from experts in the project you're working on, or even some legal help. And as the deeper layer revealed by the Death card in reverse, this is telling me an energetic shedding. It does not announce death per se, but rather the ending of a stage, the ending of a way of being. This is normally called the ego death, and throughout our lives we go through multiple ego deaths. Because when we are leaving behind cycles as large as the past 9-year cycle that ended last year, we must say goodbye to the person who lived that cycle in order to assume the new 9-year cycle from another place, from another personal energy. And the fact that it came out reversed means that there's something in you that does not want to let go of something else. It could be a habit, a relationship, a commitment, a way of being, a person, an idea, a project, or all of it. There's some kind of resistance to the flow of this passage of the Death Arcana. So, you need to allow yourself to let go, allow yourself to say goodbye to that old self, to that old energy, to welcome this new self with this Princess of Cups that I already read you at the beginning. Now let's draw the final advice with the Sacred Destiny Oracle. We got the Release Oracle. Wonderful, because look at what I was telling you with the Moon and the Death card. It is necessary to release and let go. As you can see here, is a tree in autumn. So it is a moment of releasing and surrendering. This implies letting go of situations, people, relationships, objects that no longer serve us. Letting go of everything that drags you down. Letting go of superficial distractions. And releasing layer upon layer until you reach your purest center. If you're still trying to hold on, to cling to what is old and no longer serves you, you're placing barriers to the flow that wants to carry you toward abundance, sabotaging the incoming new energy into your life. You can connect with this energy of release through mundane activities such as decluttering your house, cleaning your spaces, giving away what you don't use anymore, also clearing your body perhaps with detox, with juices and diet. Also clearing your energy through meditation, exercise, so that you align with the new energy that wants to come to you. It is not necessary to go through release with suffering. It is attachment that generates suffering. But if we go through release, knowing that it will open space for the new experience to enter, so that we may sow and harvest in the long term, that will be motivation enough to go through the process of releasing our old life. So it is very beautiful to close the reading with this oracle of release, so that you can arrive at this new stage that is foretold with the Princess of Cups, with lighter and freer baggage. So that was the reading for the manifestation and abundance. Remember that this reading never loses relevance, and it carries within itself a frequency to transmute and work on this thing energetically. So you can watch it at any time, in any month, any day. You can even repeat it. And when you repeat it, be very attentive to your inner high priestess, meaning to your thoughts, your intuition, your sensations, because each time you listen, new stories may come to you that you need to release and let go from your energy field. So, for example, you listen to it one day and a memory of a relationship comes to you. You listen to it another day and a memory of a decision comes to you. You listen to it another day and a past trauma experience comes to you. And in this way, you keep releasing and transmuting layer after layer after layer to feel lighter each time. And if you give me a like, if you leave me a comment, an emoji, if you share my content, if you subscribe to my channel and my social media, La Flaca Tarot, that will be very much appreciated. And if you want a personalized reading, my session fees are posted on pinned post on Facebook and Instagram. And we can get in touch through the email that is posted on all my social media and in the description below. And if this reading has helped you at some point, you're welcome to donate to my PayPal, La Flaca Tarot. You can find the link in the description below. And I'll see you next month with the same dynamic, revealing things to work on energetically and vibrationally. So thank you very much, and I see you in April. Bye bye.